This episode of Twin Speaks contains spoilers.
Hello and welcome to Twin Speaks, our special Movie of the Year episode. I'm your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at kidcom_, and of course, joined by my twin brother, Andrew, on social media at Animonium.
Oh,
you can say hi. Oh. And special guest, Georgia, on social media at States of Georgia. Say hello.
Hello.
I wish I didn't have to rely on my legs to keep me up in this chair.
What?
They're sore.
You can cross your legs.
They're too sore to cross.
Cross your legs.
I don't want to cross
and
my legs.
And you need to stop?
I ripped my pants last time I crossed my legs. I'm against crossing my legs.
Do you think it's the chair? Because it's probably
because the chair rocked back and forth.
Yeah, and that nice
and I don't
squeaking
want to rely on my legs because, as soon as I do this, I just fall forward. No, I don't want to do that. My legs are sore. I wish there was a way I didn't have to do that.
So wait, what happens if you just let go?
Don't know what to tell you.
Oh yeah, you're gonna go forward.
Why don't you just center yourself more on the chair so you're not leaning back so far?
That's not comfortable.
I like you waited until we started to bring this up.
Yeah.
Well, my legs just gradually
this is
got
really
more sore
the bit that everyone wanted.
The longer you guys were arguing.
Andrew, please tell us more about your sore muscles. Andrew, do you lift?
I lifted this glass.
I lifted this beer to my mouth. I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, cheers to our sponsors.
Look at that vein popping out of your neck.
I think the boys are too shy to say, but if anyone wants to sponsor Twin Speaks,
let's get a Popeye sponsorship.
No, let's get a beer.
I'm all for spinach.
Yeah, why don't we review our beers and then see if anyone would be willing to? Did you guys see that thing on Family Feud where the girl?
Tell us about a meme.
What? Oh, okay. No, it's a video.
No.
Where the girl, they were like, meme. The question was, what's Popeye's favorite food? And she said chicken, and the answer was spinach. And
I mean, she's not
wrong, right?
Yeah.
I know. I was like, whoa. God. And there was you know how on Family Feud, they ask 100 people on the street, and it comes up on the board. It wasn't even on the board, which is amazing to me.
Were you just home during the day watching TV?
No.
That's the only time I've ever seen Family Feud.
On my phone, if you swipe to the right, it gives you news. That was one of the news articles that was featured. Classic. So clearly Apple is doing some amazing things.
What's his name again? Host?
Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey. There's supercuts of Steve Harvey just in disbelief. You can just YouTube Steve Harvey in disbelief.
It's
because it's always just him in disbelief about whatever ends up on the board.
It's one appendage has two testicles and hangs between a man's legs.
Yeah.
And it's always penis. And he goes, oh my God.
Yeah, I
know. And they're all like that too. It's just him freaking out over very obviously that was the only way to answer the answer.
Or he just rolls his eyes at whatever the white guy says.
Yeah.
The white guy would say something completely normal, and he'll be like,
I just love it when
nothing better for an audio medium than making a face.
Yeah. Steve Harvey face. Everybody go.
I just love it when someone says an answer that's clearly not very good and is definitely not on the board, and they're like, yeah, okay, good answer. And then everyone starts clapping. You're just that's not on the board. You and I all know it's not on the board. Where did you come up with that?
What's a ball you use for sports? And they'll be like, a tennis racket. And you're like, yeah, good answer. That's
they'd be
correct.
I think. A pool ball or something like that, when you play billiards. And I'm like...
what's the weirdest category that they've had on there?
I don't know. I don't watch enough.
George?
I don't know. I don't really know. There's a lot of weird categories. I mean, they have to come up with how many rounds? 5? 10 different things per episode?
They have to interview 100 people or whatever it is.
I think they must interview the same 100 people and ask them 10 questions each or something like that. But God, that must be such a cool / exhausting job coming up with those categories.
Yeah, probably.
And how do you stay serious the whole time? How do you not be that one guy where it's all the answers on the boards and then there's always one with just one answer and it's something completely off?
But that's the thing. It's with that
Popeyes
what do you bake
with bread, and it's flour,
yeast.
Yeah.
And then there's like one answer is like penis.
Yeah.
One person
There's
said
just
that.
one guy who just misunderstands the question every time.
What are you,
He's
sticking bread?
He's written the answer he's written the
warm
wrong
bread.
answer for each question. So he's like, you know, like when you go through a test, and then
It's a long
after
answer
you,
question?
No, or when it's multiple choice, and then you go back and you're like, oh shit, like I missed a question. So you like done the answer for the question before on everything for the last 20 questions. You have to go back and like refill the one.
You've done that?
Yeah, I've done that. That's like this guy, this hypothetical person.
Oh, he did
He's
that?
he's just answered the question before the wrong question, so all of his answers are just off slightly.
It just takes test anxiety to a whole new dark place.
Yeah, for sure.
I was really hoping to sit in the silence.
I saw the line on the thing and I was like, that's long.
There was like, it was not.
Yes, it is. It's like a full
10 seconds.
3 seconds.
10 seconds.
Like 10 seconds.
Okay, should we get into this list?
It's like, George, when you ask what time it is, and it's like,
Okay.
it's 9 o'clock, and it's like 8:30.
Okay, that's
Georgia
not true. I do round, and I will say, in my grade 1 class, I was the only one that understood what rounding was. So,
Oh, really?
yes, do I round up? All the time. If it's
Fine.
8:38, to me, it's basically 9 o'clock.
Well,
It's closer to
I thought you were
9.
going to say 8:30 I was like, yeah, 1:45. And you were not 22 minutes later.
And this is the thing, I don't say it's 9 o'clock, I say it's basically 9 o'clock.
This is
Okay?
like, this
Pat and I get in these
this is
arguments
so
all
rich
the
coming
time.
From Patrick, who just
Yeah.
exaggerates
Everything.
story.
I know.
He's like, she'll be like, it'll be like 8:15, and she'll be like, it's 9 o'clock. It's like,
He'd be like, yeah, I was cutting this branch down, the whole fucking tree came
Yeah.
down. You mean those 2 other branches?
Yeah.
catching Pat in
I like how you were like, yeah. I just
catching Pat in a bold-faced lies. Like,
It's not a bold-faced lie.
like
I just
over-
get caught up in the story.
Yeah, it's like when-
and I exaggerate some of the details.
There was one when we were back for Christmas, you were telling Dad the story that you had told me and Georgia about. And in that, like, where you told her and then you told me, like, right after. And then I think you told Cameron or something. And then you told Dad. And we were sitting in the other room. And it's funny when you get an audience because
Yeah.
it's just like, you can tell you're just feeding off that energy.
And Andrew and I are just giving each other knowing looks, being like, that wasn't the same story.
Yeah, it's like you've added something to it to make it, like, more exciting.
Yeah.
Not added. I've just forgotten the detail
Or-
between telling and
No.
and now
You
I've
just
brought it back up.
You're like reminding yourself. You're like, wait a second, there was 5 other people there.
We went to my family's place for Christmas dinner, and we go back to Pat's family's, and Pat's telling them all about it, and he goes, yeah, and then George's sister, her and her boyfriend, like, had to leave early because they were only there for, like, 20 minutes. They were not at Christmas dinner for 20 minutes. They left early. They were there
my
for,
God.
like, over 2 hours.
I just got
I
caught
actually do
up.
remember that story.
Yeah, and you made sure that I knew that I was
Yeah,
wrong
you said
right
that, like,
away.
right away.
Yeah, and I was like, what? You
yeah,
mean well.
fucking idiot.
It's one of those, it's such a tender thing about you.
Yeah, it doesn't sound tender.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just like, and this is that thing that I hate about it.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that
Okay,
later.
now host Monkey Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so movie of the year podcast episode. I don't remember. 46?
8.
No,
I don't know.
It's up there, 45, I think.
45 or 46.
46.
Damn.
Okay, so we've got a few categories. We'll rattle through some of these categories, and then we'll get to our top 5. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to have a disclaimer because Pat and I were talking about this. When I was trying to come up with my lists and like any of the categories, is that I wasn't necessarily like wowed by movies in 2019.
Okay.
Not to like, there was good movies for sure, but especially in my top 5, like they're the best movies of what I saw this year. And I think you have to make that distinction between like what was the best of what you saw versus like what were your all-time favorites. Or you guys were, Pat, you were even talking about it when you guys did the album podcast because like you were saying that Andrew, something about how like someone's idea of...
Oh, yeah. So what's the best versus what's your favorite?
Yes.
And
yeah.
Andrew was sort of under the impression that it's like, it's a bit of the same thing, But for me,
I treat it as the same.
Yeah, but for me, it's like I think. I mean, so like Avengers would be, I guess, an example of that. Not necessarily like my example, but just an example. Just saying, like, yeah, it was like one of my favorite movies.
Your disclaimer is you're like, I don't want to be this common pleb that liked Avengers.
But I'm just saying, like, it could be your favorite movie, but
you're not saying it was the best movie you ever saw.
Yeah, but you're not saying it's the best movie that came out.
Because these like movies that you saw in one year, like none of these necessarily got put on my all-time favorite movies ever. Do you know what I mean? But it's like hard when you're trying to think about it because you see all these movies and then you have to like put them in a ranking. So
Sure.
Yeah, we kind of like wanted to. Well, I kind of wanted to mention that because.
So how would you say that about yours? Are these like your favorite movies then, or the best movies?
These are my favorite movies.
Okay, good.
They aren't.
Your favorite.
I don't
movies,
necessarily think they're the best of.
Okay. Your favorite movies of 2019.
Of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that. Yeah, they're the ones I enjoyed the most. I think that's how I kind of like came up with my rankings.
Mine are a little bit both.
Yeah.
So mine are like down the line. Like I took the movies
too.
that are my favorites, and I also took the movies that I think were the best.
Yeah.
Like,
because I think
they're
some
not
of that
mutually
influenced
exclusive
it too.
either, right? Like some
like,
of them, yeah.
Something would have gone maybe higher on the list because I enjoyed it more than like something else, but I still thought it was like the best movie kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought it'd be fun to do the pile of shame right away.
Yeah.
Mine, when I was going through it, was way longer than I'm.
Okay, so pile of shame. So basically the movies that we didn't get to see for whatever reason, right? I found a lot of the ones like my list was influenced by what was even playing here.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there was like, I mean, Uncut Gems isn't even in theaters here yet.
No.
Like you were saying, it doesn't come to theaters to here where we are.
To this
Victoria.
Yeah, to the end of the week.
Until the end of the week.
Isn't it
of the coming week here.
coming up on Netflix?
But then, and then it's coming out on Netflix
on
like a week after that. Not even a week after that.
Oh, damn.
So that's crazy. So, okay, so who wants to go first? Do you, Andrew?
Doesn't matter. Sure.
Pile of shame.
Okay, so, mine's kind of the same thing. A lot of it was like, but also like, there was just movies I kept putting off seeing too, I think. And like,
some that you're like not in the mood for.
Yeah. And yeah, that's maybe the first one even. And like, a lot of them didn't play here. So movies I think that didn't play here were Uncut Gems, Parasite for a long time.
Yep.
The Lighthouse. I never saw Dark Waters come up here. Dark Waters is the one with Mark Ruffalo as like a political thriller.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Yep.
The Farewell.
Yeah.
I didn't see Honey Boy. I think it played at like the University Theater, not University Heights.
For
like
about 2 days, I think.
2 days. Jojo Rabbit, I just didn't see because it was between us doing episodes, and we ended up picking a different movie around that time. And then I wasn't really in the mood for Marriage Story because I just knew it was gonna bum me out.
Yeah. I think Marriage Story is on my list as well. Actually, I just added that one when you started talking. I was like, "Oh, Marriage Story! I forgot about that one."
I always see it on there, and I've heard people tell me it's really good and that I like it, but like, it just feels like it's going to be a bit of a gut punch.
Who was it that just told us about Marriage Story? Was it Kyra?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and shout
out to Kyra.
She sort of said the same thing where she was like thought it was going to bum her out, and she's like, "It's sad, but it's also very good."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one I just never really got around to. I think, again, you had to sort of be in a mood maybe to watch it. Maybe that's my misconception about it, but...
I feel like I was a lot better at watching, like, maybe, like, heavier / sadder movies when I was younger.
Sure.
Like, I used to always be up for that sad shit. Now Pat's like, do you want to watch, The Florida Project? And I'm like, no.
I really want to watch that. And
I do. That's not even like a 2019 movie, yeah.
No, I totally agree. And we watched the Grizzlies last night, which is like kind of a sad movie as well. And like even after that, you're sort of like throughout that movie, you're like, this is so good, but at the same time, you're like, ugh.
I know. I feel like my escape, like when I watch a movie and I want to escape, it's like I don't want to escape to something sad.
Yeah.
So
or escape to something sad. Yeah.
Regrettably, I forgot to fill out this category, so I put down Jojo Rabbit, which I did really want to see.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I think I initially really wanted to see it, and then I had some people tell me that like Taika Waititi's portrayal of Hitler was like very weird and off-putting. So it really kind of like, I don't know, just hearing that really like swayed me from going and seeing it in theaters. Would I rent it? / if it came out on Netflix, would I watch it? Yes. Like I am still really curious about it, but that kind of like took my motivation to go and see it like away. Like I just wasn't as motivated anymore because of that. So that one, I had The Farewell, which I do still really want to see, and then Peanut Butter Falcon, which I also wanted to see as well. Yeah,
that one looked really good. I haven't seen that one either. But the other Shia LaBeouf one, Honey Boy. Mm-hmm. That one I don't.
Oh yeah, I did mention.
I think that was the same thing. It was maybe playing at Cinecenter for a couple of days. I don't remember seeing it advertised in theaters here anyway. But yeah, The Farewell, same. Last Black Man in San Francisco,
which we had the opportunity to see a couple times, and then you and I were both like, "It's gonna be dark," or like, "It's gonna be like, like." You know, kind of an emotional movie.
Oh, you pussy.
Yeah. Andrew.
And Uncut Gems. That was the other one.
I haven't seen anything about Uncut Gems. I don't even know what it's about.
See, I'm telling you.
Honestly, everyone's like, Uncut Gems, Uncut Gems. I'm like, am I living in like a black hole?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the same with Parasite. I'm just like...
Yeah, definitely.
Uncut Gems is the movie that everybody's pissed off that didn't get nominated for anything.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Adam Sandler got an Oscar snub.
Fucking everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been hearing about it mostly because Pat's been telling me about it, and haven't seen any like trailers for it or any like advertisements. So yeah, can we do our biggest disappointments next?
Sure. You guys want to do that one next?
Sure. Did you already go through yours?
Sorry.
Did you already go through yours? Oh yeah.
I just did. Biggest disappointments, the shit list, the movies that we saw. Do I have to explain it?
So poo-poo of movies.
The first one that I did is Serenity.
Okay.
Because there was a point in this movie that like, and this movie had unreal trailers, and like I was 100% sold in this movie. I was so like thrown off by all the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and I think we still went into it pretty open-minded. And there was a point in this movie where I think I was leaning forward with my head in my hand, thinking, I have to leave. I can't be here anymore. It was so bad. It was like one of the, I think, like I ripped into it when we did this before on it, but like, holy crap. It was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
And then like the end CGI bit where it was like someone's like weird... like first level college
it's like
course,
learning how to like animate something in a video game. It's so weird. It's just this weird. I saw it on like the AV Club's list of movies or something like that, and I was like, what the fuck? Like there was another list I saw it on too. It was like, this is not a good movie. Like what is?
Oh yeah.
This? It wasn't AV Club. It was a list of movies that are on Amazon Prime now, and it was like must-see Amazon Prime movies, and that was on there.
See, if you guys fondly remember when we recorded that Serenity podcast, I really was rooting for that one. And like, I will say there were good parts of that movie, but they really threw me with that video game bit, and I just like, I couldn't, as much as I was like, but this and this, like it just...
It's
in hindsight, I'm just like, what
it's
was
like
that?
It's like a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah.
It's like weird, but
sure.
like
it's very
weird
like
shit in it. Like,
and like
it's very like, moody. It has like a lot of like surrealist
like really weird.
I think that's what I liked about it the most. But then it just didn't pay out, and none of it paid out.
Yeah,
it was
bad. Very. Like, I will say, like the ending was very, very disappointing.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's it. Like as much as the beginning of the movie can be amazing and beautiful and like well shot and well acted, you have fucking Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey. Like you just like when an ending ends, like when it's like that, you're just like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I have three others that I don't really need to talk about too much, but like Hellboy.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty self-explanatory that like I didn't think it was awful, but I think in the grand scheme of things I was disappointed by it. Triple Frontier.
Sure. Yeah.
Because
A-list cast.
Triple Frontier, we watched that one, didn't we?
That was it was a Netflix movie with like all these
Oscar Isaac,
Pedro Pascal, Charlie Hunnam, Ben Affleck.
Oh
like,
yeah,
all
that weird
actors.
scene at the end.
Yeah, and
right.
I liked it, but it's again, like with a cast like that and the direction and everything, like you expect it to be so
much better, yeah.
And then the dead don't die.
Oh yeah.
Which I have had people like try to explain it and be like, no, it's supposed to be like that. No, it's not. It's bad. It's not. It's not like this weird like
commentary
on movies and
media
shit like
consumption.
Like, no, it's a bad movie, and shut the fuck up. You don't like that. Doesn't make any sense. You can't say that about this movie. It's not good enough to be held up on its own like that.
That's the one that I wrote on my list.
I wrote on mine too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with that movie, what really like we talked about this on the podcast too. I was on that podcast, wasn't I?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would have like passed up the opportunity to talk about that movie. You know it's not going to end well because Adam Driver literally tells you that at the beginning of the movie.
Like,
so what the fuck is the point in watching the movie?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That weird like backwards thing where it's supposed to be like
they try to and they try to subvert like plot structure. It's like plot structure is there for a reason.
But
you need it to be entertained and interested.
Yeah, you just kind of like check out after.
Well, yeah. This isn't going to end well. It's like, okay, so please tell me why I paid $15 to watch a movie that's, revealed to me in the first fucking 10 minutes of this movie.
For me, that was the biggest thing. That, like, I felt like paying to see that movie was like I had been tricked.
Yeah.
Or like I had...
Especially from the trailer.
Like, it felt like he, like, literally took the money out of my pocket and then laughed at me for paying to see that movie.
And, like,
I think that's what I was, like, most upset about.
Yeah, I felt that about Serenity, too.
Yes.
This one I felt the most about it.
I like, self-aware movies. Like, yeah, sure, like, subvert plot and, like, do something interesting and unique and, whatever. But it was done in such a awkward and unfortunate way. And another movie. Andrew, are you done your list?
Yeah, sorry.
And I don't know if you saw this one, but another movie that I feel like really teased me with the trailer and then kicked the shit out of me was Under the Silver Lake, which Pat and I watched together, and we're just like dumbfounded by how this trailer had been cut to make this movie look so interesting and so like kind of surreal and entertaining and fun, and it was just probably the weirdest fucking movie I've seen. I think that one was like tops my shit list for 2019 because wow.
Under the Silver Lake. Wow. Oh man, you're gonna be
my list.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put Dead Don't Die, like obviously like I just I don't know, like didn't like it. And the one thing before we finish on that though is like the cast that they had. Like insane. Like I remember when we were reading all the like stuff, the news for it, and it was like, oh holy shit, like so and so's in this too. Like, and then it was like every name after that, and then it, and they're in it for like what 30 seconds.
Yeah,
as a zombie. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you guys want to talk about surprises?
Don't you have?
No, that was
no,
that was mine. The last one. Biggest surprises.
So wait, surprises as in like. Good surprises, right?
Yeah, good surprises. Under the Silver Lake.
What? Wow. You and I talked about this movie.
Yeah, and I was like...
You must have changed your mind.
Yeah, well, when we did the podcast, it was like, we had like gone pretty in depth with it, I think.
Yeah, it was I think I came out of it liking it, but I think this movie's kind of warm to me. It's not on my big surprise list, but I think I've come around on this.
The reason it's on this list is because again, I don't think it's that good.
I had to look it up. I had to read a bunch of stuff after.
Yeah, which I didn't do because I kind of just like I felt like it was surface level trying to be
more deep than it really
was. So I was kind of like, I'm not gonna try to understand this movie when it's not giving me the kind of like dimension and depth that I would need to like. I don't want to come away and have to Google it.
Yeah. However, that being said, and I agree, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed like when we were watching it together and being like, this movie is so fucking weird.
Yeah,
and like the weird things that was happening, like. But I enjoyed Andrew Garfield in it, and I enjoyed Topher Grace is in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like their weird friendship, and then what's the girl's name? I forgot now.
I'm not sure.
Anyway. I just enjoyed watching it.
It's all a dream
and
to me.
It was all super weird and like very surreal, and It was like 2.5 hours too.
But it's
like,
weird
it was
too
very
because, like,
long.
you know, in some ways, I would say that movie and The Dead Don't Die are similar. Obviously,
Sure.
just in the sense that they are trying to be like, there is that really like strange kind of offbeat quality to both of them. So it's funny that you two, like, you had differing opinions about each of them. For me, like, I generally like movies like that, but that one just like fell flat. I just left it being like, what did I even watch? When he's getting like led through that area by like those homeless people and
Yeah,
like
the homeless, the Hobo King.
Yeah.
and he's like looking for signs and symbols everywhere, and you're just like,
I think what I loved about that movie though is like it is so different than Dead Don't Die in the sense that like they're both ridiculous at some points in this movie, and you really don't know what's actually happening. But that movie takes so much longer to explain things, which I appreciated. Where Dead Don't Die just show you
things, yeah.
and you're like, all right, like, oh, a UFO or fucking whatever.
It's like, here, you dumb shit.
I feel like
yeah,
Under the Silver Lake, to its credit, like the Dead Don't Die, like, gives you the plot right away. Under the Silver Lake is like, is there even a plot? 'Cause the entire time you're like, what is Andrew Garfield even going after? Like, you really don't know. You know, he's like, well, this girl disappeared who lived in my apartment complex. But it's like, he's constantly searching for something, and I feel like it's almost like he's striving for a plot or like trying to find a plot throughout the movie, which in itself is a plot. So, yeah, to its credit, it does do that like pretty well. But
I think just bottom line, I just enjoyed myself watching it. I think that's why it was a surprise. Because I remember reading all the stuff about it and like it getting dropped by the studio, and then it got picked up by Amazon, and then we were watching it, and it's like,
it was so different from the trailer.
This is definitely a movie that's a lot different than what it was like promoted as, I guess. Mm-hmm. But the other one I had was, I have two more. Standoff at Sparrow Creek.
Right.
Which I went in blind, didn't even know like really anything about it. I think you pitched it to us and like, oh, we should watch this. And one of the best like written movies I think I saw all year. Like totally dialogue driven. Pretty cool like twists at the end.
Yeah.
It was just like a really good movie. And then Ad Astra.
Oh.
Just as like a surprise, because I don't really know that much about James Gray and like his movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I was really excited about the movie and like watching all the trailers and stuff. Well, the first trailer pitched it as like a Gravity almost, like more sort of actiony than I think it was. And then sort of the other trailers. So when we actually did watch it, it was like surprising how good it actually was. And I wasn't disappointed by it, kind of thing. Yeah. What about yours?
I didn't really have much, but I think The Report was a big one. Because like I didn't really know too much about it. I just kind of saw like some of the reviews, but I didn't look it up too much, and I was like completely blown away by it. Paddleton,
yes,
which you told you decided to like we do for an episode, and again I didn't really know what to expect, and I was completely blown away.
Those were some sad boys that week.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I
came back watching that movie just being like, fuck.
Yeah. And then I think the Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, sure.
Because I think it wasn't what I was expecting from a Spider-Man movie, and I really liked it. And it was just kind of something that was like refreshing to see somebody like Jake Gyllenhaal in a superhero movie. Which
and even like the ending sort of thing, like that was a big surprise as well, and how they sort of dropped that at the end. Yeah. George? I'm
going to surprise you both with this one. My biggest surprise was how much I enjoyed Shazam.
Really?
I really...
That was the cheesiest lead up to
I know. But in the sense that, like, you guys know that I normally get dragged along to, like, the superhero movies, so... You know, it's not something I was, like, really expecting to enjoy, but I really did. It was, like, funny. It was interesting. It was, like, so fucking corny, especially at the end where they all get, like, transformed into, like, adults.
Their own Shazams.
But it was just, like, a really good movie. I don't know. It was nice. It was sad. It was happy. Like, you just, like... I got everything from the viewing experience that I wanted to. I was really not expecting to like it. So
surprised how much you enjoyed it.
That movie to me is such like a stereotypical Hollywood entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Like you go in, you're like, that was fun. That was great. That was a good time. And then that was it. That was all you think about it.
And I think that's the thing. That's that difference between something being like good and something being something that you just enjoyed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
would I say that it's like an amazing movie that deserves an Oscar nom? No, obviously. But like, did I enjoy myself? Yes, it did its job. So, yeah.
Great. What's the next list we should do? Best sequel or prequel?
I have John Wick 3.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't
John
think I
Wick
saw
3,
that one.
I fucking love John Wick 3.
Oh, yeah, you
Uh,
guys said that one was cool, though.
I
Yeah.
love those movies, and like I think every time we see one, every time it comes out, I say like it just scratches that itch of like a pure action movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A pure action movie that has sick fighting and like cool gun shit and stuff, and just like
Cool aesthetic.
I'm like so okay with not seeing anything after that. Like I don't need to like a bunch of these movies throughout the year. I need one that's super well done, and John Wick is always that. And like,
Yes.
the fact that there's now 3 of these.
Yeah. And so
that
far,
are-
all 3 have been
And,
that
like,
thing. Yeah.
I honestly could give a shit if the plot is very plain and boring and to the very simple. But like they're
again-
well done, they're well filmed, they're well acted. Like who gives a shit?
And it's
Yeah.
entertaining.
It's exactly what you expect
Yeah.
it to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had that too, and I also had Watchmen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The show?
'Cause the show, yeah.
Nice.
One of the best TV shows I've ever seen, like straight up. And I don't know. I guess it is more of a sequel because it's supposed to happen after, and it's like 2000.
It's not connected to the movies though.
It's like 2018.
Oh, but it is.
How far are you? I don't want to ruin this for you.
I'm only like 5 episodes in.
Okay, I won't ruin it for you. But it is connected to the movie.
Yeah.
Well, the
it's
book,
same,
but because it's like 2019. I
but
guess.
it is connected to the movie because it's the same actress that plays. I guess it's not, but she plays the character. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, she
I
plays.
It's not connected to the movie, so as far as I know, it's not connected to the movie. It's connected to the book,
Yes, the book.
but that's it.
But I would say that's a sequel then.
The reason I say that is you could count it as a reboot,
Okay, sure. I agree. Yeah.
right?
But yeah,
Good.
but yeah, John Wick 3 Parabellum too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Watchmen I think was like easily one of the best shows, like one of the best written shows, acted shows. I think I was describing to someone it's like having like a superhero, but that's definitely secondary and it's more of a vehicle for the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's sort of a lot more going on, and then that stuff is more like the thing that allows all that stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah, for sure. Watchmen.
I didn't really have any. To me, like Pat gave us the list of movies that we'd seen, and like I don't want to like default to a Marvel movie because
Yeah, but
In
those
general-
almost
Those are
entirely
pretty like
sequels, though.
yeah, the most of the sequels that get made. Yeah, for
So
sure.
I guess like I did enjoy Endgame. Did I? I guess so.
Yeah.
And I liked Captain Marvel. I don't know if you can call that. I guess that's a prequel, right?
No,
I would almost.
it's its own thing.
It's its own thing, but it is connected to the other one.
It's
so I
connected.
guess you
Yeah.
could make the argument.
But it's not real. Like it's not like.
But it's not really. Yeah. No.
It's not like an
I
Avengers.
actually totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that, but I like
But
it.
again, like that's kind of a default for me. I didn't really watch any prequels or sequels or reboots that
Yeah.
struck a
there's-
chord with me. But then again, like I generally like standalones, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have enjoyed John Wick.
Do you want to do reboot next then, Andrew?
Sure. I don't know. I don't really have one.
A reboot?
Yeah, I think I was thinking Watchmen. I kind of wrote the Joker though,
Okay, sure.
but also there hasn't been like a Joker movie. But I guess it's rebooted in the sense that like it's a
Rebooting
different
the character.
actor,
Yeah.
So like maybe
You can put a loose definition on reboot, I think.
Hellboy, but that's is
Hellboy,
that
I
your best
didn't think
one?
that was the
yeah.
best one.
Yeah.
So I think Watchmen for sure. I mean, I'm not done, but like I really am enjoying it.
It was
and,
great.
Like, I've read the book too, and like I do kind of appreciate what they're doing with the series too. But maybe the Joker, I guess. Although like I like the Joker, but I didn't love the Joker, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go with the Watchmen,
I had Watchmen too.
but not movie
Yeah.
though. I guess it just says reboot.
I put my worst reboot as Star Wars.
Oh.
But I'm just saying of the reboots. Again, it was more of like a default answer.
My worst reboot. The Star Wars is your default answer? Mine
Well-
was Hellboy and then the Fast and Furious.
See, but I didn't see
Hobbs and
either of
Shaw.
That's not a
those.
reboot though. That's a sequel.
Yeah, reboot sequel.
Oh, I have them as 2 different categories.
Oh, I put worst sequel / reboot.
Oh, I don't even have worst. Oh, it's way at the bottom there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I had Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see Hellboy or Fast and the Furious. So of the ones that I saw, very limited.
You would say Star Wars?
Yeah, I would put that out of Star Wars, Endgame. I saw Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, yeah, Star Wars. I did enjoy it.
Yes.
I
Out
kind
of
of
all the
opted to
ones,
not be
though-
on the podcast for it, but I did enjoy it. But of all of them, it was kind of felt the most flat to me. So
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, mine's Hellboy for worst.
For sure.
who
Because,
plays
like-
Hellboy in that one? Because Pat and I just watched the
Ron Perlman one.
Ron Perlman.
Guillermo del
Who
Toro.
plays-
Guillermo del Toro?
Who plays Hellboy?
Yeah.
David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Oh, weird.
I like him.
Did he have a ponytail in it?
He's more. He's way more grizzled in it.
Okay, then
Like,
like
a lot more.
smooth faced Ron Perlman.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's so funny. It's like watching that one,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like very smooth faced.
Right.
He's got like barely any facial hair.
Yeah.
His like
He has a
very
goatee,
small.
doesn't he?
No.
I thought he had
Yeah, I
something
think
like
so.
here.
Or maybe he does. Okay, but it's like very small, like sideburn scruff, and then his like tiny little samurai bun
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
back.
which was an
It
odd choice.
yeah, it's weird watching that one and then seeing this one. Obviously, it's like different times,
Yeah.
and like makeup and everything has changed a little bit. Like you can do a bit more, but like definitely the David Harbour one, like he's got more.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Got
more going on. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, for sure, the Hellboy one. Because I think we were both super excited about it. And excited about David Harbour. Excited about, what's his name? Ian McShane.
Ian McShane, yeah.
Thought it was going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And then trailers looked pretty cool. Because they had like the bits about him riding the dragon and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that movie's just... Like,
It's just
it was like
dumpster
sad
fire type
how
thing,
bad it
yeah.
was. It was like, oh,
Damn.
this could have been so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the CGI. There was like bits in the CGI where it was weird, and like I watched this clip not that long ago, and it was the scene where he's fighting the giants.
Yeah, which is good.
And there's a bit in that scene where whoever was editing or when they were doing CGI, they mirrored it to like to use that scene again. And so he's holding the sword in his wrong hand.
Oh.
And he's like fighting with his wrong hand. And then it flips again and he's like using his right hand again.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's like,
Actually, speaking of that, I think the next category is, or we'll jump to this one, but best movie you didn't think was great, but you still had a good time watching.
yes.
That's
I
bad,
have-
yeah.
Hellboy on there.
Oh, okay.
So Hellboy, because I did like still like it. It's
Sure,
just, like,
yeah.
It's just such a dumpster fire of a movie, but like the other one I have there is Godzilla King of the Monsters,
That's what I had, yeah.
because like again, it is what you expect it to be. Like it's just a Godzilla movie. Like I remember hearing a review of it, and it said like people think it's a bad movie, but Godzilla fans seem to like it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. It's like you go into it being like, can't wait to see Godzilla fight some monsters, and you see them fight monsters, and that's all you can hope for.
George, do you want to read my letterbox review for Godzilla?
Why not just read it yourself?
Fuck yeah, Godzilla.
5 stars.
2 likes.
Why?
My-
Fuck yeah, Godzilla's.
Okay.
Because exactly the same. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit like John Wick in the sense that, like, I know what I'm getting from it. I'm not expecting a, like, insane sort of surreal movie experience. Like, I want to just see Godzilla, and I want to see the monsters, and I want to see, like, cool visuals of them fighting and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Millie Bobby
very
Brown.
happy with it. Sorry?
Said it Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, yeah. I forgot she was in that.
And you're like, oh, this is actually what you sound like all the time.
Yeah.
That was what threw me off the most. I'm like, this isn't just your 11 voice.
It's just, you're like,
You're just like an okay actor.
yeah.
Mine. So I definitely flipped switches like a little bit on this one. Knives Out.
Oh.
Because in hindsight,
Wow.
Yeah,
This
wow.
is such a.
okay. Because in hindsight, like
Bombshell.
it's not that I think it's a bad movie, but like, do I think it was an amazing, like,
You were
well
on
done,
an island with
interesting?
this.
I don't know. I just like I don't. The more I thought about it, the more I was kind of like, I got entertainment from it. It was interesting and like funny and whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Do I think it was like an amazing movie? No.
Okay.
My other one was Let It Snow on Netflix.
What?
Yikes.
Which I made Pat watch.
You just lost all credit.
I know. But you know what?
Knives Out, not so good. Let It Snow.
Still
No.
Also not so good.
This is these are on the same. This is the same category.
Like it's
Like,
absolutely.
No, was Knives
It's an
Out
atrocity that you're thinking this.
Hey, I'm just being honest. Was Knives Out better than Let It Snow? Obviously.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What was
Pat,
that
you
Let It
enjoyed Let It
Snow?
Snow too,
Which one
so
was that
don't
again?
even pretend like you
Just
didn't.
being-
Which one was that again? I can't remember now.
It was that Netflix Christmas movie with Joan Cusack, who plays like the crazy snowplow driver, and I'm sorry.
Oh.
Was it
Sounds
entertaining?
Like a redux of the of Mr. Plow versus King Plow.
Yeah.
Was it entertaining?
Plowing.
Yeah. Was it a good movie? No. Did I still enjoy it? Did I want a little Christmas charm in my life? Yeah, damn right I
Yeah.
did.
Do
Okay.
you enjoy it, asking yourself hypothetical questions? Hell
Yes.
yeah.
That was. To be fair, that was a very charming movie. It wasn't great. Do I think it
Pat,
deserves
you
anywhere
left that
on
movie
this
being like,
list?
you watch and being like,
This
I like
asking yourself questions is contagious.
I
You
like
just
that
did it.
I enjoyed that movie. That's
I
what your
did enjoy
reaction
it.
to it. So
Yeah.
don't even pretend like you're too macho and
Macho.
Wow, that's Pat to a nutshell.
yeah, he's flexing
He's
right
always
now.
too fucking macho to do cool shit. Hold hands? Hell no.
Pat, stop
Slap
flexing.
hands.
I need my other hand for my protein shake.
Oh.
Are you doing an impression of yourself right now?
Oh.
I don't drink
Ow.
protein shakes.
Burn.
I think you drink them more
What are you
than I
talking about?
do.
You have them in
Yeah,
your hand
probably.
right now.
No, I have two.
And a 20-pound dumbbell. Only
Yeah.
20.
He's just
But only
lifting
with
constant.
one. I like you left it fall over your shoulder. Look at this.
I'm still working on my form.
So yeah, maybe my Knives Out is controversial for that. I gave it a good review.
You did.
I did
yeah.
give it a good review, but it was kind of
Didn't
like
you give it like a 6 or something?
something like that. Yeah. Again, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have done more with the actors that they had in that movie. I think
Okay.
that was my like big criticism of it. Is like
Sure.
you have like a really great like standout cast, and like I feel like they weren't quite utilized to their potential. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I think it was a good movie? Yes.
Yes, you've already asked yourself those questions.
I know, because you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. So
I'm not.
Are. Oh, sorry. Okay. Best streaming movie?
Sorry?
Best streaming movie?
Sure, yeah.
The Report.
Really?
Like, hands down.
That was a good movie.
It's so much better. It's like, it's so good. And like, the fact that it only came out on Amazon is ridiculous. Like, it's so amazing.
It was. I think, yeah, it could have been in one of the surprises too. Like, surprising how good it was. It was like such a dialogue-driven movie.
Yeah, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love a good like political thriller too, and like this was just like right up my alley, and
Yep.
I loved everything about this movie.
Everybody in this movie too was
Really great.
extremely well acted, and yeah, I agree. It was like, I think one of the best ones. I put The Irishman too, but that's sort of like a gimme.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
What'd you
Mine was I Am Mother from Netflix.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Great
Hilary
movie. Yeah.
Swank, Clara Rogard, and then Rose Byrne.
Yes.
I was like, that was a very unexpected kind of like spur of the moment movie
Very like
for us, but yeah, I just like, I don't know, I love some sci-fi. I love, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really
End
good
of the
one.
world
Actually,
stuff.
I think I'll definitely say that one too. Like,
Yeah.
it was sort of like, I think we just randomly put it on too. Like, it realized that it came out this year, and then
Right.
watched it, and
Super suspenseful.
Yeah.
But
very
yeah,
intense.
interesting plot. I liked the ending. Like, yeah, it kind of was just like a good,
Cool twist at the end. Yep.
like a good fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely.
that one was mine.
I actually totally forgot about that movie too.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you guys want to talk about Forgot that came out this year?
What was yours? Oh.
Velvet
Oh, yeah.
Buzzsaw.
Oh yeah.
I completely forgot that movie came out. I think mostly because it came out in like January,
Yeah,
but
I
like,
have 3. Captain Marvel, which I totally forgot was out this year.
sure, yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. I
we
forgot
saw
about that
it,
one.
We saw it really late too.
Yeah.
And then Us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, I think what you said as well, like, I forgot that came out as well.
Yeah.
Mine was Serenity.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll never forget.
It's just so funny that like Velvet Buzzsaw could have been like a disappointment one too. Like great cast.
I just didn't, but like, yeah, I agree. But like, I think I
great director, great writer.
didn't expect much out of it to begin with. Too.
Really?
Like, I think the premise of it it wasn't up my alley. So I think I had low expectations, and then watching it, I was kind of like, okay, it was like exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
Sure. Yeah, I just was like scrolling through our sort of like list of episodes and I saw it on there. It was like one of the first ones we did last year. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, I forgot we did that.
Yeah.
Because I think I just watched it on my computer one day or something. Yeah.
Best TV show?
Sure. Yeah. What do you think,
I haven't finished a lot of TV show series.
George?
I have 5.
Oh wow.
Really?
A lot.
What's
So
your
my
best?
number one.
What's your best?
Okay, this one has a stipulation though.
I
Damn.
didn't think that was gonna work.
My best was the OA, surprisingly. But it was their second season came out. No, I don't even know if it came out last year. I think it like ended last year.
Okay.
And it's like their last season ever. I had that one as my first. Love, Death, and Robots. I really,
Right.
really, really liked.
Yep.
The Watchmen, Chernobyl, and then Sex Education.
Final episode date of the OA was March 22nd, 2019.
Yeah, so it counts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the OA is really fucking weird, but it's a really good show.
Yeah, that was a show too that I came in late. Because
Yeah,
you
I
were
really
watching
liked
it,
it.
and then I got really into it too.
Yeah, Love, Death, and Robots was super cool.
Yeah.
Really, like, interesting. I loved the standalone episodes. I loved all the different art styles. I thought it was just, like, cool sci-fi fun.
Did you have the favorite one?
I think the farm episode.
Yeah, right.
I really liked
where they
that
have the
one.
mechs and stuff.
Yeah, that one was cool.
That one was cool.
And then Watchmen, which we just finished recently, but yeah, that was such a, like, gripping show. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, Chernobyl was obviously bomb. Like, really sad.
The
but...
bomb.
Oh, no!
Yikes.
And yeah, Sex Education, which was really funny. I hope there's a second season of Sex Education because I really like that one.
I think there is. I think the trailer just came out or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like a month ago or so. I
was
remember
a lot-
seeing something for it.
I feel like I enjoyed more TV shows than I did movies in 2019.
Wow.
In general.
Nice.
There was a lot to watch, but I also am one of those people where like I get a little afraid and nervous of like watching too many TV shows because it's just so many things to keep up with.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Westworld. We haven't finished
Yeah.
yet. I think that technically finished 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we haven't finished that one yet.
So yeah, I had a lot, but there was some good TV out this year.
Andrew?
Last year.
Again, like I didn't finish a whole lot this year, but like I did watch almost like half of a bunch of series. Watchmen, which I really enjoyed. I think it's just kind of refreshing as something different than the movie, but just also just a movie or a show that like you don't really know what's happening a lot of the time, and it kind of just keeps you guessing of a lot of things and fills you in on characters not entirely, which I really appreciate, where it's not full backstories. You just kind of get bits and pieces, which is cool, and it really lets you figure stuff out. Chernobyl, again, I only watched like half of it, but a series where like I think you expect something more dramatic, but it really just gives you like facts
Yeah.
about what
Very
what's
much just
happening,
like
and you're
laying
sort
it
of
out for
like,
you.
all right, yeah, this sucks, and like I hate it, but it still was really great. Succession is something that I've just started watching,
Nice.
but it's from this last year, and again, just sort of a different business political type goofy ass show, which I didn't really have expectations of, but I am enjoying it. And then The Mandalorian.
Yes. Yeah,
which
of course.
just, again, kind of just scratched the itch. Is
Yeah.
it the best show? Definitely not, but like I think it's still good and it's still
Yeah.
entertaining.
And I think that's where you and I disagree too. Like you're not crazy about Mandalorian. I think again it's a bit like the Godzilla sort of thing where I know what I want from it. It's giving me that thing.
Yeah.
And I'm completely satisfied just
Yeah.
having this like very simple plot structure, kind of campy acting style. Obviously it's a Star Wars movie or a TV show. But like I'm good with that. That's what I like about Star Wars. That's what I expect from it. That's what I want from it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's doing that thing. Yeah, again, Chernobyl, I think, is a great one. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Sorry, I was going to say about Mandalorian. I think because I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, it's a little easier for me to pick apart because
Yes, sure.
I'm not as involved in the plot and in the story. So, yeah, I watched the first couple episodes and was just kind of like, meh, the same thing is happening over and over and over again. But, did I think it was a good show? Yeah. Was Baby Yoda worth that? Yes.
I really shouldn't have noticed that you ask yourself so many questions. It really is.
She only does it just to like set up her own jokes. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's like all the time now.
Yeah.
Is it all the time, Andrew? Yes.
I really, really enjoyed Chernobyl. I forgot actually that came out this year, but yeah, great. That was a really good TV show. Very much like, here are the facts. Here's how brutal that entire situation was. It's interesting really because I think the one thing we talk about too with like a lot of historical movies is like, how do you make something that's already happened, like when you already know all the facts, when you already know how everything happened or what happened, blah, 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 the outcome of said thing interesting? Yeah. Or how do you keep people interested? And that did like an amazing job of doing that.
Well, I think it was just like everyone knew what Chernobyl
or was rather.
Was, but like it was getting really in depth in that story that was just like so interesting because it's something you hear about and like people make references to, but yeah, it was kind of the first time for me that I was like, oh shit, this is what this is about,
And then like I already talked about Watchmen. I think easily one of the best TV shows like I've ever seen. Period.
Yeah, it was good.
What's the next one we should do?
We do best villain.
Okay. The other one was most underrated and best comedy.
Oh right.
Yes, most underrated.
I have The Standoff with Bear Creek.
That's what I had.
Nice.
Yeah, because it didn't get amazing reviews for some reason.
It did.
Yeah, I got really good
really?
reviews.
It got really good reviews.
Oh, I looked up reviews a couple days ago.
Oh, really? What was that?
I think it just got so under the radar.
Yeah, it was under the radar.
And it also like got a weird release too, where it came out in 2018 for some places, but then like the North American release, like US release, was also in 2019 or in early January. So like, I don't know if it got an even wide release everywhere. But yeah, this is just such a great like dialogue driven movie, like you said before, and again like scratches that itch of something that's really intense and you really don't know what's going on, you don't know who to trust and who to believe, but it's just so good. And we didn't really know too much going into it.
No, I was like really surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
I think maybe you told us like, oh, we should watch this one. I think maybe we watched like half a trailer.
But even then, we hadn't heard about it before you like suggested
I didn't know about it.
And I haven't heard anyone talk about that movie.
Yeah, I think I saw it in it was like a release thread on Reddit, and that was it. And so I didn't really know much going into it either.
But I really enjoyed it.
I had High Flying Bird. Yeah, I think. Excuse me. I saw a couple lists, and it was sort of pretty high up on a bunch of lists. Like near if it was like out of 50 or whatever, it was like near 50. But I haven't really heard people talk about it. I haven't really seen people like on Twitter talking about it or whatever. Like, I think in that sense it's underrated, where it didn't really get the same buzz. Yeah. Similar to like Standoff at Bear Creek. I think that's like what a really, really great movie and probably deserves a lot of buzz. But I think it was so good. Like,
it was so good, and it was so unique too. It's very different. It's entirely shot on an iPhone.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
And like Steven Soderbergh too, who I like will watch anything that he does. Like, I really like him as a director and producer and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally agree with that one too. I think that one's definitely up there.
Cool. Best villain, you said?
Yeah. Mine was Paul Ritter, who plays Anatol Dyatlov in Chernobyl.
Yeah, right. You hate him through the entire thing. Him.
He was so well portrayed. Yeah. Like, it's like right off the bat, you're just like, wow, I am so like stunned by how much I dislike this character. I thought he just played such a good villain throughout the entire thing. And even in the last, well, I don't want to ruin it for you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to ruin it?
I think you've had your chance.
It's been
out
on.
For like a while.
It's been out for like 6 months. So in the end, like they're doing a whole court case trial. And he's been like exposed to radiation, so he comes back and he's just like he just looks horrible and like sick and like yeah, and I think he ends up recovering.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that character, like just that first episode, in the actual like factory when he's like ordering people around. Yeah, you just hate him so much right off the bat. I thought it was like a really amazing portrayal.
We shouldn't be doing that, and he's like, I'm fucking telling you to do this thing.
Yeah.
You need to do it right now.
Right, yeah.
But he just portrays this like asinine person the entire.
Just like so full of himself and like so
regardless of like
arrogant
clearly like obviously the tragedy that's like surrounding him and which was essentially his fault, you know? Like yeah, it was just so good. So that was who came to mind immediately for me.
Andrew?
Mine's Cancer in Paddleton.
Oh,
Andrew.
Because it was Cancer is unbeatable in that movie.
Yeah,
because he literally like describes it as the unbeatable cancer. Like that's the whole.
And like they get a medication to kill himself.
Yeah. So like, yeah, fuck that. It was so sad and like it just bummed me out and I hated Cancer at the end. I was like, fuck Cancer. But yeah, that was mine.
You hated Cancer only at the end of that movie.
Before the movie, I was
had
like,
neutral feelings.
He was pretty neutral on Cancer.
Before this movie, I was like, Cancer's not a bad guy. He gets a bad rap. Cancer's never done anything bad to me. And then I saw this movie, like, Cancer's the worst.
God. Does Cancer suck? Yes. Does it suck real bad? Yes.
Does Andrew hate Cancer now?
Yes. Am I going to play up this asking myself rhetorical questions? Not even rhetorical. Regular questions? Yes. So now it's been pointed out to me as one of my many flaws. Thanks a lot.
Your many flaws?
Yeah, I have many flaws.
You're going to point out your own many flaws?
No. Those are secrets that I keep with me. Repeat myself daily.
That one that's in your hands?
My beer?
Oh, I thought you had a book in your hand.
No, this is my notebook of special notes. Don't read it. Also, this is my rough draft. This is my rough draft of today's interesting notes, and this is my nice draft of it. It's basically just as legible, but I decided to write it twice.
Did you call it interesting notes?
No, the first one I wrote was Twin Speaks Movies of the Year 2020 podcast, and I was like, but it's not the 2020 podcast. It's technically happening in 2020, but it's 2019. So then I felt the need to rewrite it so that I could change the title.
You should retitle it Uninteresting Notes.
On the next page. Should I go on?
No, please don't.
Do you want me to read some other notes in my notebook?
Yes.
Dear Diary.
Patrick exaggerated on another story today.
On January 18th, Andrew was a bully. What's new? Am I right?
What's new? Am I right? Haha, Georgia.
XOXO.
Keep it real, girl.
Keep it real, girl.
Best comedy.
What was yours for best villain?
I don't know. I honestly couldn't think of one. That was the only one I left blank.
Cancer.
Well, I kept thinking.
Are you pro Cancer?
Oh God.
All that fucking losers.
To be honest, like.
This fucking guy's into Cancer.
But I did enjoy what's his noodle from Endgame. In like the literal sense of a villain.
What, Thanos?
Yeah.
What's his noodle?
What's his
what's that feller's name? What's the big purple Grimace.
Yeah, you got what's his noodle from me. I always say what's his noodle.
What's the actor's name?
Yeah, I hate Grimace. Grimace is the worst McDonald's.
Okay, moving on. Comedy.
Wow.
God, Andrew, off of a riff.
Yeah, come on.
My favorite comedy.
That's what you get for bullying her.
Yeah, well.
My favorite comedy.
Me earlier.
Oh my God. My favorite comedy was Booksmart.
Oh, nice.
That's a minus too.
Yeah,
nice.
I really enjoyed it. It was really funny, and you may make a. My favorite comedy was Booksmart. I really liked it, and it was really funny at the end.
And I like how pretty the ground story.
Did you have to write that down in your notebook?
Yeah.
Damn, Andrew.
It was a question.
Fine.
If you don't write notes in your notebook.
I won't speak anymore, okay?
It was a question about your notebook that you have notes in.
No, there's no notes about any of the movies. I just wrote the names of the movies down, so I wouldn't forget, okay?
So it's just a title.
Anyways, I really enjoyed Booksmart. I thought the acting was amazing. It was super funny. And, I just had some real hot laughs that entire film. Love those ladies. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it was fun. It's so funny. It's
that
Olivia
scene with
Wilde's,
the guy in
first
the
ever
car.
movie is insane.
when they're trying to get that guy to give them a ride, and like he ends up being
They have
like
their hair.
like a kidnapper. I was just like,
Oh
man,
yeah,
fuck.
and he's like giving them life lessons.
Life on, like, how to not-
accepting rides,
yeah.
on how not to get kidnapped.
Turns out he's like a kidnapper too. At the end.
That's what we just
Yeah,
said.
we just-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we just said that he was a kidnapper.
Sorry.
Oh.
What were you listening to?
I was looking at the screen.
And Billy Lord in that movie was
Insane.
insanely
Yeah.
amazing and made me love her so much more.
Yeah, that movie
So.
is off the rails in a lot of ways, but also it's very heartfelt.
Yeah. There were some great laughs,
moments.
but there was some real feels in that one too. So
Mine was Knives Out.
His best comedy?
Yeah.
interesting.
Elaborate. Is that what you really want? What you said?
That's my answer.
No, I thought it was really funny.
Okay.
Well, I just trying to remember like through when we were actually watching it in the theater, and I remember how funny it was, and thought Chris Evans was really great, and there was like really dry bits with Michael Shannon. I thought it was really funny. Yeah, I don't know.
I know you got mad at me for like I didn't say anything.
You just went,
I didn't think it was a comedy.
Andrew, yours
It
is
was.
Book Smart as well.
If you go to Wikipedia, it says dark comedy.
Oh.
You bitch.
So
You
we are
absolute
now on
buffoon.
to our top 5 movies.
Yeah. All right. Let's do our top 5s then, and then we can get into some like honorable mentions at the end. Okay. Who wants to go first?
I do not have a top. I don't have a number 5.
Okay.
That's what I do.
You will go in the next round. Andrew, do you want to go first?
Wait, do I not
yeah.
need to preface why?
Sure.
'Cause
I
you
really
only watched 4
struggled.
movies this year.
That's what I just didn't know if I liked 5 of them enough to put them on my list.
Okay.
Pat and Andrew have 8. Spoiler alert. They each have 8. So
I have more than 8.
clearly
I have 17.
I have refined taste and
I
they do not.
the person who compared Knives Out to whatever that other movie was.
Let us
I
know.
didn't compare Knives Out to Let Us Know. I did not compare them. Are you going to hold that over my head for the rest of my life? God damn it. Fine.
Okay.
I revoke that.
Mine
Actually,
is-
no. Fuck you. I do not revoke that. I stand by what I said.
Mine is Peanut Butter Falcon is my number 5.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was. Emily doesn't know have seen it because we were supposed to see it together. But
Oh.
she doesn't listen to this. Shout out to.
Oh, shit.
Andrew's girlfriend.
But I really enjoyed it. I think I liked it way more than I thought I would. I knew it was like good. It was getting good reviews and stuff. But
Yeah.
it was very like heartfelt. It's good to see Shia LaBeouf like in a role like that.
Sure.
Also, I forgot what her name is, but the person she was also in 50 Shades of Grey.
Dakota Johnson.
Nice.
She's great in it. What's his face? John Bernthal's in it briefly.
Oh, really?
He plays Shia LaBeouf's brother.
Cool.
But yeah, it's good. It's just like it's a nice like it literally is like Mark Twain type story where they just get together. The other lead in it I think his name's Zach, who is like opposite of Shia LaBeouf. He's so great and funny and like hilarious, and their dynamic is so cute and like heartfelt, and
Nice.
everything about it is so great. And it was a really enjoyable movie.
Cool. Solid top 5.
Yeah.
Number 5. My number 5 is Knives Out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think, just like easily one of the best, I think, movie experiences we had this year, or I had this year rather, was like trying to figure out. I think it's just a very classic whodunit, and
You already know who done it.
Who did do it?
The lady. The nurse.
okay.
Am I not allowed to say that?
No, I just meant like the type of movie.
I know. Okay,
Okay.
I know.
All right.
I was just saying that, like, in terms of who dones it.
Who did do it? Who done it?
In terms of the who dones it movie, you kind of already know at the beginning. So it's more like a we knows who's did it. You can edit this out. I'm sorry. Go on. You were saying.
It's just one of my favorite movies of the year.
Why?
Because it was a whodunit. Yeah, I don't know. It was like super well acted. I think writing was really great. Well directed. I really liked the house that it was in the entire time. I liked the little like flashbacks between all the characters, and I thought like the cool sort of framing bit where they were doing like the interviews, and then Daniel Craig's character and his funny accent that he was doing the entire time, which I really loved. It like totally reminded me of when he was in Logan Lucky. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like a really great movie. It was like kind of a surprise. I didn't think it was going to be that great. I was sort of excited about like all the great cast that was in it, and we had talked about it for like a really long time, and then when it finally came out, it was like great. I really liked it.
It was fun.
It was really fun, yeah.
Yeah. Should I do my number 4?
Do you want to do your 4? Yeah, sure.
Ad Astra was my number 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just like such a visually stunning movie. I loved like the struggle, both like interior when he's dealing with like the possibility of seeing his dad again, but also like kind of having to like make it all the way out there, and like those kinds of challenges that he faced. But yeah, I just thought in general it was like a really satisfying movie. Pat showed me a really funny meme that it was like, it was something about the Shania Twain song.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. It was about him being all of the things and Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
To impress her.
A rocket scientist with...
He has his own car or something.
Yeah.
And he's Brad Pitt.
And he's Brad Pitt, yeah. But yeah, just in general, I really, really enjoyed that movie. I don't know. I've been really into like sci-fi as of late.
There's been some really good sci-fi movies lately. Yeah.
It was just like beautiful. And
yeah, it was.
I really enjoyed the plot too. I thought it was interesting. I had a lot of people be like, well, I thought it was quite boring. That he goes all the way out there, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't feel that way. I thought it was like really driven.
I thought it was
and I was
really
entertained,
well-paced.
and I was like really interested and invested the entire time, even though it is quite a long movie. And you have that kind of like penultimate moment at the end, like, yeah, when he finally sees his dad. I just thought it was a good movie.
Great. Andrew, what's your 4?
I have 2 4s.
Okay.
So a tie for 4th place.
Yeah. High Flying Bird and Paddleton.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So High Flying Bird, I just, again, like we kind of talked about before, is like, it was something different. It was kind of just it was kind of like what Moneyball did with like a sports movie. Like it's a sports movie, but it's not a sports movie. Like you're more focused on the behind the scenes stuff of a sports movie.
Yeah, it's more like of a drama than anything. Yeah,
the setting is sports, but it's not about sports. And that's what I really enjoyed about this is like, it's about sort of the relationships of players and the business of like the NBA and owners and ultimately what they care about and stuff like that versus the players themselves. Like at the end of the day, they're expendable, and that's all the movie's about.
Yep.
And about how smart this guy is and about how he's able to move all these pieces together to ultimately get what he wants.
Yeah.
And I found that so interesting. It's just like the shooting style is so cool, and like the thing with Steven Soderbergh movies is it's so like quick and like the dialogue is so back and forth, which I really like, and I think it just it was really entertaining and good and well acted, and all the leads were fantastic, and like you don't see a lot of the one lead, the basketball player, but he's kind of like up and coming in some stuff.
Yeah.
And then Paddleton like caught me completely off guard, and I love what's his face, Ray Romano, and I love the
Mark Duplass,
Jay Duplass, Mark Duplass.
No, Mark Duplass. Yeah.
They're both so good in this.
Yeah.
And awkward and funny and goofy and sad and like the whole thing just kind of makes you anxious the entire time. But I really haven't felt that about a movie in a long time.
It definitely has like a lot of anxious energy through the entire thing. Yeah. Like especially when they're not even saying anything. There's a lot of scenes where they're just sitting by themselves or like playing the game or where they're not really doing anything, and I think that works really well because they're such great actors.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about this movie was that it really did have like an emotional, like hold on me for a long time. Like I think this movie was something that I like, just kind of not necessarily the movie, but just about what the movie was about for so long. Like it just kind of hung with me for a long time.
Yeah,
it really, like
I remember that
screwed me up for a little bit, and it not necessarily like again like about the movie itself, but just about what the movie was about, which has kind of got me. But yeah, I felt like more obligated to have it on the list because of the type of like hold that it had.
Sure, and what it meant to you. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, those are my 4s.
My number 4 is Little Women.
Right.
Ah.
So we saw that.
That's my number 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we.
I feel like we may as well talk about it simultaneously.
Yeah, because yours is coming up.
Yeah.
We didn't see it that long ago. Maybe it was like beginning of a month or something, but it hasn't been out for that long. It was like maybe a month already.
Yeah, Christmas it came out, I think.
Yeah. I had never seen any of the other ones, and going into this was, I think going in blind definitely helped. Like it was sort of, I was surprised by a lot of it, and like the story itself is really interesting. And
yeah,
I don't know. I think honestly, it was like one of the best acted movies I'd seen all year for sure. Absolutely. Like, I really liked the sort of like direction changes and even like the aesthetic changes through the entire movie. Like it's sort of just like the choices that they made, where it's like when everything's kind of just shitty and sort of not going well, and the one sister dies and everything's just so dark, and like they've sort of grayscaled almost everything without being too
movie.
Huh?
Okay, you're kind of spoiling this movie for me.
It's okay.
I haven't read the book either, and I haven't seen any of them.
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
On my list.
Sure.
Is it?
Yeah. It was on my pile of shame.
Okay, can we talk about
20 minutes ago?
Can we talk about the fact that so I won't give any more spoilers away, but poor Pat.
I'm sorry.
I had not realized that he did not know the plot of this, because no offense to you two, everyone knows the fucking plot of Little Women. Everyone.
Oh.
I did not.
And maybe it's because I have an English degree, but I honestly feel like aside from that, you should
me.
know.
And I did not know.
So I'm just looking over at him in the theater when the stuff is going down, and he just has this like sullen, like upset face on, and I'm just like, and I lean over to him, and he's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm good." And then we get out of the movie, and I'm like, "So, what did you think?" He's like, "I can't believe this happened and that happened." I'm like, "What do you mean you've never seen the movie? Like, you didn't know what the plot was?" I just assumed, because it's like, they've done so many different versions of this movie over time, and it's also a book, and a really famous book that like you'd known what happened for some reason.
Never read it. Yeah.
So that was hilarious, and yeah, for me it was just like stylistically so beautiful. I loved Saoirse Ronan in this.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh was amazing. Laura Dern and
Emma Watson. I
like,
always forget what the other actor's name is, but yeah.
It was just really beautiful. Timothy Chalamet was
what
lovely.
What is his name? The dad?
Oh, I forget.
Oh, no.
I can look it up really quickly.
Who's the guy that was a Simpsons writer? And then he's in Better Call Saul.
Oh,
Brian, no, something Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk,
He's in it, too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's the dad.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm such a huge, like, book to movie fan, typically, and I love, like, I love historical fiction, so yeah,
that would have been a good category.
It was
best adaptation.
Yeah, it was just beautiful and really lovely, and like I really enjoyed how they framed the movie, and it wasn't necessarily to the plot of the book. They kind of like played around with it in a bit, but not in a way that was really distracting. It was just lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't really like a Timothy Chalamet fangirl before.
I wasn't
but
being facetious.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. You've been facetious for like the last hour.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge like Timothy Chalamet fangirl before, but I am now. So.
Yeah.
Watching him play like one of my favorite fictional characters, Laurie, was just
he
right up
was
my alley. So.
Really great. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
he's a phenomenal actor.
Easily
And
one of the best acted movies.
I love Saoirse Ronan
I've
so
seen all
much.
year.
She's the tits. So
I heard Meryl
Yeah.
Streep knew that Greta Gerwig
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig,
was
yeah,
doing this movie, and she like wouldn't stop like hounding her to play the
amazing.
character that
That's
she
cool.
was.
The aunt, yeah,
Yeah, she was great.
yeah.
in it.
Greta Gerwig. She's done some good stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see that quote from her about the Golden Globes?
Mhm.
No.
The Hollywood Foreign Press. That apparently there was like a bunch of people that were there. We were like, yeah, we voted for your movie. Like, we voted
Oh,
for
yeah.
you. And she's like, no, you didn't, because I didn't get nominated.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, fuck you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, what's your number 3?
Oh shit.
Get your list out.
I haven't memorized. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't know really where to put this one, but I think this and The Irishman were kind of like two movies that got pushed up and down my list quite a bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I think this movie is a movie for people that like movies.
Movies, yes.
And that's who it's written for. And it's who it's directed for. And it's just everything about it is for people who like movies. And it's a love letter to that. And like everything about it, like the way it's shot, the way it's acted, the weird cuts in it too. And like the way that it's paced and the plot and everything about it is for that type of movie fan.
Yeah.
And I think it was right up my alley and everything about it. And even like just the way that the plot eventually, like it just meanders through the entire movie. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
gets to the end, you're expecting one thing and something else entirely happens, which is so great. And it's so great to see Brad Pitt in this after, or also seeing him in Ad Astra too and comparing the two and just being like, yeah, there's a reason that he
Is as great as he
as
is.
great
yeah.
as an actor and like a long working actor as well, and
Yeah.
like why he getting nominated for the first or potentially his first ever win coming up. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I think this is a movie that aged well with me too. Like I
Yeah.
saw it, and I think initially I didn't really know what to think, and then as time's kind of gone on, I've gone like, yeah, this is actually like one of my favorites of the year.
That
This-
was my number 2.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that movie. I
Yeah.
thought it was just like phenomenal, like really beautiful. It was so well, like the time frame was so well set and
Yeah.
established. Like you really
Yeah.
felt immersed.
Yeah, totally.
I loved Margot Robbie in that movie. Brad Pitt was like, that was probably like performance of the year for me, which should have been a category.
Yeah, that would have been
Brad
fun.
Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because like, damn, we walked away from that being like, as much as Leo was great in that movie, Brad
good, yeah.
carried it.
For sure.
Like he was.
I think every scene that he's in, you're sort of like
so
expecting him to do
captivated.
something cool too. Like
Yeah.
he just kind of you believe that he's a cool guy,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
which like Brad Pitt kind of naturally has that about him. But like the
Even-
fact that every scene he's in, you're sort of like waiting for him to do something.
Well, even
cool
just like
shit or-
him on the roof, and he's just like
Yeah.
fixing whatever thing on the roof there, and he's
having
like takes
that,
off
like,
his shirt, and he's like,
moment of reflection.
and I'm like,
type thing,
this
yeah.
isn't cheesy to me. Like this is
Yeah.
just makes me
But
think he's cool.
Yeah, he's somehow like very understated.
even though that's like a dumb
Yeah.
example.
He's like very understated and very like complex somehow. Like
Yeah.
even that opening scene where like he drives up and goes into his trailer and feeds his dog and like,
yeah,
you know, like it's just like you're getting these like glimpses of his life that like make such a rich, interesting character, even though it's not that he doesn't even say the most. He's not really like the most, I don't know, like dazzling in like the Leonardo DiCaprio I'm an actor kind of way, but like somehow he just like really stole it from me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go. My number 3 was Lighthouse,
Oh.
because I only watched it maybe like, God, was that like a week ago? 2 weeks? No, 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I
or
think it was a
something?
week ago.
Just because like we never caught it when it was out here, and then when we went back to Kelowna, didn't have the time, and I don't even think it was playing there. So I watched it online, and yeah, like it's funny, like maybe 10 minutes in, you kind of don't know what's happening. It's not that long of a movie, and then all of a sudden it's like you're in it, and I'm like totally sold on everything that's happening. And sort of like the aesthetic of the movie and like the style, like it being a 4x3 frame through the entire thing it just adds to it.
That's
And,
interesting.
like,
I didn't know that.
the interesting like perspective that's through the entire movie. Like a lot of the times, I think the camera is just stationary, or it's sort of like it'll be set on a big pile of rocks or something, and it just watches Robert Pattinson like walk down a path.
Right.
And it's interesting because like he's acting very well, but then sort of everything that's going on, because it's such like a sort of intense like location and setting through the entire thing. But then I think like even just what the movie is saying, sort of like the relationship between Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and like him being his boss technically, but then he's like trying to be friends with him. So then Robert Pattinson's trying to be friends, but then you sort of realize that like there is no such thing as like he's just still your boss. He's still going to treat you like a boss, even though he's trying to be friends with you.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter in the end. Like the boss doesn't actually care about you. It's like all feigning. And yeah, then it had like this cool like background of sort of almost like an H.P. Lovecraft style, like how he's kind of going insane. And
But don't spoil it though.
yeah, no, I won't. Like it. Anything that I'm sort of saying is definitely just in the trailer.
Sure, yeah.
And it definitely has some like pretty unexpected stuff happen. And again, like I think two of the best performances for me were in this movie. Like Robert Pattinson through the entire thing, his accent through the entire thing, and like his character development is unbelievable. And
He's got chops, man.
Yeah, and Willem Dafoe is just so great. And it's the first 10 minutes of the movie, you don't know what he's saying. And then somehow you figure out what he's saying. Oh, yeah. Like, I don't even really know when it happens. All of a sudden, you catch on to his accent. Because his accent is, like, very true to, I don't even know, like, Newfoundland sailors. I'm not sure.
Like 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just like this wild stuff that happened in that movie. I was like hooked all the way through. Definitely like one of the cool sort of movie experiences. I was just like sitting at home watching it. Like made some macaroni for myself. Anyway, yeah, that's my number 3. Do you want to do your 2 then, Andrew?
Yeah, because I've already done my 2.
Already did hers?
Oh, okay. My number 2 is The Report.
Nice.
Oh.
Cool.
It's like, again, like, I love a good political thriller movie, and a movie that's driven by dialogue, I think I almost prefer. And like going through that movie, just it kind of like how you were talking about The Lighthouse, it like just had me hooked like right away, and I was interested. It had me like looking stuff up after,
yeah,
and like looking up about some of these events and what's going on, and who this guy was, and like what was really happening. And I think this movie's so well acted too, and you're interested in all these characters, and it kind of gets into like a loop of like he is interested in something, and he comes up with like this report and stuff, and goes through a bunch of it, and then something happens, and he goes to the senator, and the senator asks him a question, basically like gives him direction, and then she leaves, and he does the exact same thing. And just it was predictable in that sense, but I think it happened. That was like what happened.
Yeah.
So that's what's so interesting about it, is like he was legitimately getting all of this stuff. And
yeah.
Like, this is all exactly
and
what happened.
her hands were tied through the entire thing.
Yeah.
So she's trying to help him, but then also not fuck up and give up her position because she's a fucking
she wants
senator.
him to like take it seriously and be thorough, and he was as thorough as can be. And like, the fact that it was like as long as it was too is just so interesting, and everything about it was interesting. And I think I just, like he said, like just got hooked, and it had me, and I love that type of movie. And the fact that it just kind of ends too with like not really a resolution too, which I kind of like,
which is the best.
And because in those kinds of like political movies,
there's
not really a resolution.
No.
It's just like this information is now out, and like you know,
and it's more like shit's fucked.
There's no like neat and tidy way to package it all up and end it.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to seeing Adam Driver just be a good actor too, and just sort of morph into whatever role it is. But it was also nice seeing like John Hamm in a movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like be the charismatic actor that everybody knows John Hamm to be, but in a movie. Because like he really still, even though it's now long past him doing Mad Men, still has not made that jump quite.
No.
And like, it's good to see him sort of do something like this, where you're like, he could be fucking president in this movie, but he's not. He's like the president's like next guy, and like I'm sure I'm fucking up what he actually was, but
I can't remember what his title was.
But yeah, I just really enjoyed this movie, and I think I just look forward to these types of movies, and this one just kind of knocked it out of the park for me.
What was the other actor's name? The guy who he's like the guy working the video camera when they're doing all the torturing.
He's in The Watchmen too.
Yeah.
He's got 3 names. I don't remember what they are.
Yeah, I can't remember. But he was great in this too.
He was really good too.
Yeah, I wish I knew.
He's like one of my favorite actors.
Yeah. Okay, so you did your 2.
Tim Blake Nelson.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you did your 2. So
Okay,
I'll do mine. Ad Astra. My
Nice.
number 2. Again, like Brad Pitt, just him being the focus of the entire movie and just like following his sort of story through the entire thing. You're just like interested in him, like because he just has that sort of charisma and I don't know. It's like Brad Pitt's been Brad Pitt for so long, but I think what I loved about this was like it's Brad Pitt in space, and maybe that could have been like the tagline, but that's not just what it was. Mm-hmm. It was, this movie had a lot of depth. It had there wasn't a lot of dialogue, but it had sort of a lot going on. Right. Yeah. And I think the aesthetic of the movie was really cool. It had sort of like a very interesting, like almost like I don't know, how do we describe it? Kind of like Neo, like like very similar to sort of like a Blade Runner style, where it was like, this is the future. The future kind of sucks. Like when they go to the moon and the moon's just like advertisements everywhere. I thought was pretty interesting. It was kind of an interesting take on the moon, like. Yeah. And they're like driving. They have to go from like one point to the other, and it's just like all of a sudden there's like pirates, like or whatever, like those guys in the other vehicle. Yeah, it was really cool.
It was inventive without being
over the top.
Over the top, yeah.
It was believable,
which I really liked, and
I think this movie is just Brad Pitt like being vulnerable in space.
Yeah, because totally. Like he doesn't. It's not like necessarily like his character is that interesting, but I think that almost makes it better. Like I like the fact that he's not playing some like eccentric or overdone kind of like, we need to make this guy because he's carrying the movie, we need to make him very unique and very whatever, like damaged. He's kind of just like a damaged, like fucked up normal guy, and I think that's what I liked about it, is they didn't try to make him
he's like divorced, something else. His dad's gone, he kind of has nobody, like and like the constant thing where he has to like talk to the computer.
It makes him almost seem boring, and it's like intentional, is that he's just like a normal guy.
Well, because you're supposed to
thought process.
And I think that's kind of like watching him slowly like unravel through the entire movie is like that much more eerie, because you're not distracted by this like persona throughout the entire thing. You're not immediately being like, well, this guy, he wants to go find his dad, but he's also like the world's best astronaut and XYZ, and also,
even like him being like this great, like
he was kind of almost like
he almost fell into it too.
He was like quite passive in a way.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's like, that's what's his face, and I like that you sort of see this background thing of him this event happening to him, and he's literally like, he sees it happen to a whole bunch of people, and he goes, okay, well, it's going to hit me in a little bit of time. I have time to react. Mm-hmm. Like, it almost is like not as heroic as they make it seem, and like he knows that, but then everybody else is sort of like kind of blows it up. I really love this movie. This is like one of my favorite genres of movies. It's just like kind of these like sprawling, like deep sci-fi stuff where they have to go deep into space, and there isn't a lot of dialogue. It's very just like eye candy in that kind of sense, and I think this was definitely like checked all those boxes for me.
Tommy Lee Jones was also
amazing. He was fantastic. Yeah, he's not in it a lot, but he's really really good.
And it's that reveal at the end too. I think like because you don't know.
You think he's like
you
like
don't
found
know if
something.
He's going to be there, like, and you're just like waiting, because the entire plot is focused around meeting this guy and seeing this character, and then he's there, and it's just like it's not the reunion that you want it to be, and you almost feel the same kind of disappointment because you've gone through this entire film. You sat through this entire film, and then it's like you're finally reunited with this character in the same way that like Brad's Pitt character
and
is in a way, because
you're almost
waiting
finding
to
out,
see it.
having the same information as him.
Yeah.
You're finding out everything as he's finding it out. Yeah, it was really great.
I loved it. And I also love Liv Tyler, so her
Yes, she was great.
cameo in this movie was
Cool.
on
It's
par for
all
me.
kinda
It's all
is,
that,
too,
yeah, she's there in little
Briefly.
parts,
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do your number one?
My number one,
Movie of the year.
Booksmart.
Booksmart. Wow.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, I left that movie being like, and I think I said this as soon as I came out of the theater, like, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, do I think that it's, the most important movie of the year? Or like, does it say something, political? No, it does not. But I just like,
Did
really
you have a good
loved
time
it. I
doing
had
it?
a really good
Hell
time
yeah.
watching it. I
You
love.
guys are both doing
I'm doing
it
those
now.
questions.
Andrew, stop.
She was doing it intentionally, but
Yeah.
you didn't.
No, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just think that the acting was amazing. It was funny. It was really smart. I could see a lot of myself and like my adolescence in those characters too, which, it always just kind of like brings you a little closer to home in that way. So, in terms of directing, like, I thought it was really well done. I loved, Billie Lourd's character. I mean, I mentioned this before, but Billie Lourd's character was so good. She was like the comedic relief throughout the entire movie, and like
comedic relief, but also just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
the entire
exactly.
time.
Yeah,
And
it's
she's
just
on screen,
so
you're like,
funny.
what the hell is happening?
And I thought it kind of like towed the line really well between being funny, but also like, there was some serious moments and, struggling with like, life shit.
Yeah.
And the commentary on like friendship and, graduating and not knowing what you're going to do and XYZ. Like, I feel like it was, I wish I had a movie like that to watch when I was 17.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With like smart, funny, intelligent women working through their shit together and having a laugh while they're doing it, So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was my, when I look back on 2019, that's definitely like the standout for me. So
Cool.
Sure.
Nice.
Mine
Andrew?
is Knives Out.
Knives Out. Nice. You had that in your
really?
back pocket, didn't you?
Yeah. I love this movie, and like, I love that like whodunit type thing.
Huh?
Because
Andrew,
like
they already know who did it.
entertaining. It's just like it's like Clue in real life. Like the fact that you know exactly what's happening and you're just trying to like not spoil it for the other characters who are trying to figure out as well, and all the like dumbass banter that they all have as well is really funny and really good. And you have all these giant big names who all like pull their weight in this movie, and like having Chris Evans be not Captain America in this is so great as well. Like, I think that's such a great cast. But then just like the little things too, where it just takes turns that you don't expect it to. You think it's going to be like point A to point B, and then there's the bit about like the woman getting injected by and you're like,
Chris
oh,
Evans.
holy shit!
Like he's more capable of what you think he is.
Yeah, which
and
is
then
so
like
weird. And then
even giving like Daniel Craig's character like more credit than you think he's just sort of this like bumbling,
but like famous, but not for the
and
right
then like
reasons type thing.
Turns out his dad's like rich too, and he was like
doesn't
famous.
Really need to be doing this, but then he is good at it.
Yeah,
and shit like that. And I love Lakeith Stanfield in this as
he's
as
so
the like straight guy, and you have the other cop who's just a fan and shit.
Yeah.
And it's just everything about this movie is so great. I think it was perfect. Like, I was so glad that it lived up to expectations too. Like, I think my expectations were high going into this movie, and then coming out and being like, "Holy crap, that was amazing!" Like, I'm so glad we saw that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, am I allowed to are we allowed to discuss it? I guess so, right?
What?
I feel like the actors didn't pull their weight in that movie. And I think that was like part of the reason why I didn't like, and again, don't get me wrong, like this is exactly the kind of movie that I would love. And like, I did really enjoy it, but I kind of just felt like, for having such big names, they didn't pull their weight. I felt
I think it's limited screen time too, right? Like,
but I feel like
you
Anna
can't have them-
de Armas was like, she was the entire movie, right? And obviously because it's based around her, but I felt like they could have incorporated those other characters more and like filled out those storylines a bit more.
Sure.
Because you kind of, and they have that scene in the beginning where they establish kind of like the possible motive for most of the characters, like so-and-so needs money, like she's run out of money. That's Toni Collette's character. And, you know, you find out that Jamie Lee Curtis's husband is like cheating on her and, you know, XYZ. But I wanted like a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more backstory. And I was kind of disappointed that you don't. We didn't get enough scenes of the actual birthday party. Like you only get that in hindsight.
Oh, okay.
But I kind
Do you know what I
of
mean?
like that because it's not what the focus was. It was he
Yeah.
died. You don't need to know all the in between shit.
Yeah.
And even with some of the like the backstory stuff with some of the characters, like the fact that they have them telling you about one thing and then they show something
Totally
happening
different.
that's
Yeah.
completely different, establishes the characters so much more than you could by like having them do whatever it is they're doing, because you can already discredit whatever they're doing because they're lying about it.
Yeah.
Which I really like because that's so unique in that sort of sense in storytelling, is that like show don't tell, and
Yeah. You're getting
they're
one
like
thing and
going
hearing another
through all
thing.
that stuff, and you're getting like double the amount versus like having a scene anyway. So I really enjoyed that part of it.
Cool.
Yeah. It was definitely a fun movie.
Yeah.
And like, I think like stylistically too, it was beautiful. And like the
Oh, yeah.
entire
Colorful,
mood of
too,
it.
yeah.
Like they somehow built this world in a very like short amount of time. I mean, I feel like just even having Daniel Craig's character come in and have that, and having all of the actors and the characters in the movie accept him to a certain extent, because it's like when you have you're creating a world that seems very real, and then all of a sudden you throw in this character that's like very eccentric, and none of the characters really talk about how eccentric he is. It's just accepted. Like they're talking about the fact that they don't like that there's a detective around, but they're not really talking about how it's insane that he's doing this like accent and he's very like over the top and stuff. So I think the world building in that movie was really phenomenal.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Cheers.
My number one is Parasite.
Oh, nice.
You watched that movie like 3 days ago.
That would have been Tuesday. So that would have been
Less than a week ago.
4 days ago, yeah. 5 days ago? Yeah, something like that. But honestly,
really snuck in.
Because like I've had time to see it. It was actually playing here, and like it lined up that I just went and saw it like on a Tuesday, and honestly, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Easily one of the best acted movies I've ever seen. Like through the entire thing, it's like a character driven movie, so there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of like setting is very sort of secondary. It does happen in sort of one place, but it's all what the characters are doing. And there's a lot of characters. There's the four main characters, and then there's like 5 of the other family that you're constantly dealing with. And it's just like an unbelievable movie. Like it really does sort of warp through the entire thing. I don't want to give it too much away because you still want to see it, right?
Yeah.
But I will say that it's very unexpected. You sort of go in and it very much sets it up being, okay, this is what this movie is. And it's pretty intense in a lot of spots, really. It's like surprising how intense it is because the stakes kind of seem low in a lot of it. Like it doesn't seem like a lot could go wrong. They're like, okay, well, if this goes wrong, then it won't be that bad. But for whatever reason, it has that intensity. And then all of a sudden it changes and it's like shoots the fucking roof off and it completely changes what it is. And it just like all of a sudden it's 100 miles per hour after like that's 50 cool. Kind of. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like
it was going 50 clicks and then it went 100 clicks.
It like unbelievable movie. I don't want to give it too much away, but like I really, really loved the setting. I loved the actors. They were really great. Amazingly written. I think even the fact that it's because it's a Korean film and then it was translated not translated, but like English subtitles. it still carried
Yeah. That's
the
what I
weight.
heard,
Like
too.
it
Which is
was
a hard thing to do, like
Yeah,
especially kind of a
big
movie
time.
that transforms before your eyes, and you're kind of like, well, this isn't what I thought it was. You know, when did these characters kind of like shift, or when did the plot
Yeah.
kind of shift and change?
But even
and like,
just, like,
yeah, to
the-
do that and translate it is like,
Oh yeah, and like
hard.
the weight of whatever they're saying, like if that translates correctly, and maybe like they fucked up a word and it's not supposed to mean that, like it was great, like it was
Yeah.
perfect, like
Right.
unbelievable movie, like unbelievable experience. It was like
even the
12
fact that you went
o'clock.
to the movie theater by yourself.
It was like 12:30. I was by myself on a Tuesday and-
Afternoon.
Yeah, and there was like still, I don't know, 10 people in the theater. Like it was empty, but not that empty.
Right.
And like, yeah, leaving with like a bunch of people, and you could see it on everybody's face, like everybody having sort of the same reaction as like, holy shit, like what the fuck was that? Yeah.
Cool.
Unbelievable movie. Like I can't wait to watch it again kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
it was so great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Parasite, Booksmart, and Knives Out.
Cool.
Cool. Do you want to go through your like just really quickly?
Yeah, we can go through quickly of our like honorable mentions.
Mine were Ad Astra, The Irishman, and Under the Silver Lake.
Nice.
Damn,
Okay.
Andrew,
'Cause
you and I had very conflicting.
Yeah.
I think Under the Silver Lake was a movie that really did, again, like one of the other movies, aged well with me. Like I think remember watching it. I think we watched it here.
I can't remember because now when you were saying that we watched it together,
Yeah.
I think we did. I didn't think you watched it separately.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, and it was like fucking weird. I remember texting you during it too.
Yeah.
Being like, I have no idea what's fucking.
We might have been watching it at the same time. I
It's
don't
funny
remember
that
now.
it aged with you though, because for me, like I watched it and was immediately like,
Yeah.
okay,
But
I want to forget that ever
yeah.
happened.
I think like initially it was like that, but I think the more I kind of like stewed on it, the more I realized, well, actually maybe it. And it reviews are like very decisive too. Which
Yes.
is crazy. but-
Interesting.
Very.
Yeah.
I was reading the AV Club one,
Yeah,
and they had it at like 20
Yeah.
out of like 50.
Yeah.
Like they had it pretty high. For me, for my honorable mentions, it was like more of where I didn't know where to put these.
Sure.
So I still wanted to mention them because I really liked the movies, but I didn't really know where to like put them on a list. So Under the Silver Lake, because I really did enjoy that. I think retrospectively as well. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if I would have the same opinion if I watched it again.
Yeah.
Us,
Okay.
Really
Yeah,
liked Us.
I think I agree with that too.
The Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Again, that could have been like 5 or 6 kind of thing.
Yeah.
High Flying Bird, and The Report.
Sure.
Like all movies that I really, really, really liked, but I just like
think
these
if
other
I-
ones like
if I
a
saw-
little bit more.
If I saw Parasite, if I saw
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like Lighthouse and
Little
Parasite.
Women, or if I saw what's it called,
Yeah.
Lighthouse, I think it would have pushed mine. Up
These
too.
wouldn't have been on my list like a week ago, kind of
Sure,
thing.
yeah.
Like it would have been completely different. But then seeing those, like I had to sort of change it around a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely just wanted to like mention like Us was so great. I remember when we watched that. I think we both reviewed it really well.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, High Flying Bird. Cool.
Cool. That's it.
Does anybody have any closing remarks?
Can't wait for what 2020 brings.
Yeah.
Do you have any movies that you're excited
2020
about?
and memes. I honestly haven't really looked.
Yeah, I haven't gone into it. I've been like so.
Should we do Birds of Prey? When does that come out?
Oh yeah, Birds of Prey. That's gotta be soon too. Eh? I think that's
It's
maybe this year.
Early February, isn't it?
I honestly can't think of anything.
1917.
Yes. Yeah. Right. That'll probably be soon. Uncut Gems will do eventually
Uncut
here
Gems, yeah.
because that'll be Netflix,
There's another one.
and then we can
that
revise
comes-
our list.
Oh, that Guy Ritchie gangster movie.
The Gentleman. Yeah. Right.
That looks interesting.
Oh, cool.
There you go. There's a couple right there.
Yeah, thanks for listening to our Twin Speaks Movies of the Year episode.
2019.
2019. I've been your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at @kidcombo_, featuring Andrew at Animodium on social media, and special guest Georgia at States of Georgia on Instagram.
Sorry for all my hot takes this episode.
Yeah.
What's to be expected now?
So-
Remember my hot takes about Will Smith? I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
That was a good episode.
You guys are
I don't
pissed.
remember
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.